Have you ever looked around and wondered why so many people struggle financially, even in one of the richest countries in the world? Millions of Americans work hard every single day. They wake up early. They commute to work. They put in long hours. And every 2 weeks, a paycheck arrives. But despite all that effort, many people still feel financially stuck. In fact, millions of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Many have little or no emergency savings. And a surprising number of people carry significant debt. So what's really going on? Is the problem simply that people don't earn enough money? Sometimes that's true. But in many cases, the bigger issue isn't income. It's habits. The reality is that financial success isn't usually determined by one giant decision. It's determined by hundreds of small decisions made over time. Some habits quietly build wealth. Others quietly destroy it. And the dangerous part is that most people don't even realize they're making these mistakes. In today's video, we're going to break down 10 of the biggest reasons many Americans struggle to build wealth. As you watch, keep track of how many of these habits you've seen in your own life. You might be surprised. And by the end of this video, I want you to answer one simple question. Which of these mistakes is costing people the most money? Let's start with number 1. Studio microphone. Reason number 1: lifestyle inflation expanded. Imagine two people. Both receive a promotion at work. Both start earning an extra $1,000 every month. The first person immediately upgrades their lifestyle. They buy a more expensive car, move into a bigger apartment, start eating out more often, and begin spending more on entertainment. The second person does something different. They continue living almost exactly the same way as before. But they invest most of the extra income. Fast forward 10 years. Who do you think is more likely to be wealthy? Most people assume wealth comes from earning more money. But wealth often comes from keeping more money. Lifestyle inflation happens when your expenses rise every time your income rises. At first, it feels harmless. After all, you've worked hard for that raise. But over time, this habit can prevent financial progress completely. Many people earn more than they did 5 years ago. Yet they're just as financially stressed as before. Why? Because every dollar of increased income gets matched by increased spending. Here's a question for you. If your income doubled tomorrow, would your investments double too? Or would your spending? That answer might reveal more about your financial future than you think. Reason number 2: living paycheck to paycheck. Now let's talk about one of the most common financial struggles in America. Living paycheck to paycheck. At first glance, this might seem like a low-income problem. But surprisingly, many people earning decent salaries also find themselves trapped in this cycle. Imagine someone receives their paycheck on Friday. For a brief moment, everything feels fine. The bank account looks healthy. Stress levels drop. And there's a sense of relief. But within days, the money starts disappearing. Rent, utilities, insurance, groceries, subscriptions, loan payments, gas, unexpected expenses. And before long, the account balance is back near zero. Then the countdown to the next paycheck begins. Does that sound familiar? The biggest danger of living paycheck to paycheck isn't just financial stress. It's vulnerability. Because when you have no financial cushion, even a small emergency can become a crisis. A car repair, a medical bill, a broken appliance, an unexpected expense of a few $100s. Any of these situations can force someone into debt. And once debt enters the picture, escaping the cycle becomes even harder. Here's something interesting. Financial security isn't always about how much you earn. It's often about the gap between what you earn and what you spend. A person earning $50,000 while saving consistently may be in a stronger financial position than someone earning $100,000 who spends everything. That's why building an emergency fund is so important. Even a small emergency fund can provide breathing room. It gives you options. And options create financial stability. So here's a question. If an unexpected $1,000 expense happened tomorrow, would you be prepared? Or would you need to borrow money? The answer can reveal a lot about your current financial health. Now let's move to another major wealth killer. Reason number 3: bad debt. Not all debt is bad. That's important to understand. Some forms of debt can help create opportunities. For example, a reasonable mortgage can help someone own a home. A business loan can help build a company. An education loan can sometimes increase earning potential. But consumer debt is different. Consumer debt is often used to buy things that lose. Reason number 5: impulse spending. Let's be honest. Almost everyone has bought something they didn't actually need. Maybe it was during a flash sale. Maybe it was because an advertisement made the product look irresistible. Or maybe it was simply because buying something felt good in the moment. That's impulse spending. And while one impulse purchase may seem harmless, the long-term impact can be surprisingly expensive. Imagine spending just $20 on unnecessary purchases 3 times a week. That doesn't sound like much. But over a year, that's more than $3,000. Over 5 years, it becomes more than $15,000. And that's before considering what that money could have become if it had been invested. The problem isn't usually the individual purchase. The problem is the habit. Modern companies spend billions of dollars studying consumer psychology. They know how to trigger emotional decisions. Limited time offers, countdown timers, one-click purchases, personalized advertisements. They're designed to make you act before you think. Financially successful people aren't immune to these tactics. They simply create a pause between desire and action. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" they ask, "Do I actually need this?" That small shift in thinking can save thousands of dollars over time. Here's a challenge. The next time you're about to make an unplanned purchase, wait 24 hours. If you still want it tomorrow, consider buying it. If not, you've probably just saved yourself money. Now let's move to a mistake that's responsible for many of the others on this list. Reason number 6, lack of financial education. Think back to your years in school. You probably learned mathematics, science, history, geography, and many other important subjects. But how much time was spent teaching you about investing, taxes, credit scores, retirement planning, building wealth? For many people, the answer is very little. And that's a problem, because money affects almost every part of adult life. Yet millions of people are expected to manage it without ever receiving proper financial education. As a result, many learn through experience. Unfortunately, experience can be expensive. People make avoidable mistakes simply because they don't know better. They take on bad debt. They delay investing. They ignore budgeting. Not because they're lazy, but because nobody taught them. The good news is that we're living in the easiest time in history to learn about money. Books, podcasts, educational YouTube channels, online courses. Financial information is available almost everywhere. The people who actively learn about money often gain a huge advantage. Because knowledge changes decisions. And decisions change outcomes. Imagine 2 people earning exactly the same salary. One understands investing, budgeting, and debt management. The other doesn't. 10 years later, their financial situations could look completely different. Not because of income, but because of knowledge. Here's a question. How many hours have you spent learning about money this year? The answer may be directly connected to your financial future. Now let's move to another surprisingly common mistake. Reason number 7, no budget. Imagine you're about to go on a long road trip. But there's one problem. You don't have a map. You don't have GPS. And you have no idea where you're going. Sounds risky, right? Yet that's exactly how many people manage their money. They earn money. They spend money. But they never create a plan. A budget isn't about restriction. It's about awareness. It's about knowing where your money is going. Many people believe they have a spending problem, when in reality, they have an awareness problem. They don't realize how much they're spending. A few subscriptions here. A few online purchases there. Frequent takeout meals. Daily coffee runs. None of these seem significant individually. But together, they can quietly consume hundreds or even thousands of dollars every year. A budget shines a light on those expenses. It helps you identify leaks in your financial boat before they become major problems. And the best part? A budget doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need advanced spreadsheets. You don't need accounting software. Even a simple monthly plan can make a huge difference. When every dollar has a purpose, money becomes easier to control. And people who control their money usually make faster progress toward financial freedom. Now let's talk about something that didn't exist for most of human history, but is influencing financial decisions every single day. Social media pressure. Reason number 8, social media pressure. A few decades ago, people mostly compared themselves to their neighbors. Today, they compare themselves to millions of people online. Every day, social media feeds are filled with luxury cars, expensive vacations, designer clothes, beautiful homes, and seemingly perfect lifestyles. After seeing enough of these images, it's easy to start feeling behind. You begin wondering, why don't I have that? Why is everyone else doing better than me? But here's the truth. Social media often shows the highlight reel, not reality. People usually share their wins. They rarely share their debt. They rarely share financial stress. They rarely show the sacrifices happening behind the scenes. Unfortunately, many people respond to this pressure by spending money they can't afford. They finance luxury cars. They buy expensive gadgets. They chase appearances. Not because they need those things, but because they want to look successful. The irony is that truly wealthy people often focus less on looking rich and more on becoming rich. Real wealth isn't always visible. It's often built quietly, through saving, investing, learning, and making smart decisions consistently. Here's a question. Are you building your life? Or are you trying to impress people online? The answer could dramatically affect your financial future. Now let's move to one of the biggest mindset differences between wealthy people and everyone else. Reason number 9, short-term thinking. Human beings naturally want immediate rewards. It's how our brains are wired. We want results now, not years from now. That's why many people struggle with wealth building. Because wealth rewards patience. Imagine you receive an extra $500 today. You have two choices. Option 1. Spend it immediately on something enjoyable. Option 2. Invest it and allow it to grow for years. The first option provides immediate satisfaction. The second option provides future opportunity. Most financial decisions work exactly like this. Short-term thinking focuses on today's pleasure. Long-term thinking focuses on tomorrow's freedom. Successful investors understand something important. Time is one of the most powerful wealth-building tools available. The earlier good decisions are made, the greater the long-term impact. Think about planting a tree. The best time to plant it was years ago. The second best time is today. Investing works in a similar way. Every year you delay can cost future growth. This doesn't mean you should never enjoy your money. It simply means balancing today's happiness with tomorrow's goals. The people who master this balance often achieve financial success faster than those who don't. And now we arrive at the final reason. Reason number 10, depending on only one income source. Most people rely on a single source of income, their job. Again, there's nothing wrong with having a job. The problem is relying on only one source. Imagine a table with only one leg. How stable would it be? Not very. Financially, the same principle applies. When all income comes from one paycheck, risk increases dramatically. If the job disappears, the income disappears. And suddenly, bills become much harder to pay. That's why many financially successful people try to create multiple income streams. This doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't require becoming a millionaire. Sometimes it starts small. Investments, freelancing, digital products, a side business, dividend income, rental income, additional skills. The goal isn't necessarily to work more forever. The goal is to reduce dependence on a single source. Multiple income streams create flexibility, they create stability, and they provide protection during difficult times. When one stream slows down, another may continue flowing. That's a major advantage. And it's one of the reasons wealthy people often recover from setbacks more quickly. Direct hit conclusion. So let's quickly recap. Most Americans stay broke because of lifestyle inflation, living paycheck to paycheck, bad debt, not investing, impulse spending, lack of financial education, no budget, social media pressure, short-term thinking, and relying on only one income source. Notice something important. None of these mistakes require someone to be unintelligent. In fact, many smart and hard-working people struggle financially because of these habits. Financial success isn't about being perfect. It's about making slightly better decisions consistently over time. A small improvement today can create a completely different future 5 or 10 years from now. And that's good news. Because habits can change. Knowledge can be learned. Debt can be reduced. Income can grow. And financial situations can improve. The question is, which habit will you change first? Let me know in the comments. And if you found value in this video, subscribe for more content about money, investing, wealth building, and financial psychology. Thanks for watching. And remember, your financial future isn't decided by what you earn. It's decided by what you repeatedly do with what you earn. See you in the next video. Rock it!